Welcome, Pro Wrestling Junkies. My name is Jim Rogers. I'd like to introduce you. First and foremost, we've got another wonderful interview with another young lady who has been in the business for quite some time, and I've seen her wrestle in person. If you get to see her wherever she may be, check her out. Check her out in the ring. And but before I introduce her, I would like to introduce my co-host for this evening, none other than my own son, Christian.
Hello.
Christian, thanks for being my co-host again.
Thank you for having me again.
But without further ado, I'd like to introduce everybody to the Ireland girl, Tracy. We'd like to welcome you. Tracy, this young man grew up. He was 4 years old. You were working for Scott East at Southern Extreme Championship Wrestling. You were the ladies champion, and it is an honor to finally have you on here. This is a relaxed conversation. I don't like the word interview because it sounds so formal. So whatever you want to talk about, you can talk about. I guess my first question is, you are the ladies champion in the SECW. How does it feel to have Tsunami as the ladies champion?
Wow. First of all, that was so long ago. I can't even tell you the memories that just popped back into my head. Thinking about working for Scott East back in the day. The crowds were phenomenal. The energy at those shows were just my favorite to go to in Portland. And I was proud of the women's championship title, and to have seen my daughter win the title was another great moment in her life.
Now, Trey, I gotta ask, when Tsunami wanted to become a wrestler, did you say, no, absolutely not? Because I know a lot of the wrestlers, when their kids say they want to be a wrestler, they're like, no.
Well, I didn't say no. I was in shock because I was at the time thinking of retiring myself. And I was thinking of, just concentrating on my business. And she came to us and she said, I want to wrestle. And I just kind of looked at my husband and he looked at me and I said, well, you're going to have to talk to people, right? Because she was very quiet, introverted. She didn't go out much. She was really shy. So I was just in shock that she wanted to do something that was so socially active and that you had to put yourself out there and not be embarrassed to do so. Her dad, on the other hand, said, no, absolutely not. If you're not doing it, don't ask. Just stay away, stay out of the business. He just didn't have a good taste in his mouth at the time about the business, so he just really tried to discourage her from doing it. And she just basically told us, well, I'm going to do it with or without your help, so I would really like it if you guys would help me. So that's when I decided that retirement was going to have to wait, and I was going to have to lace my boots up again and help her out.
Now, are you still considering retirement?
I'm not. Not in. As long as my body holds up, I'm just going to keep going. I'm having so much fun doing it. I don't see why I should.
It is so wonderful to have you on here. Just to let you know, I've interviewed a lot of people, including Jerry Oates. I don't know if you know who he is. Okay. I've only interviewed, besides your daughter, interviewed one other woman wrestler. And what I'm trying to do is bring those women into the spotlight. Princess Victoria, do you know who she is?
I'm not familiar with her.
Okay, she wrestled in WWE, or when it was WWF, a long time ago. When I was young, she was a tag team champion. She was trained by Moolah.
Okay.
But you're the third women's wrestler that we've had on here. And just to let you know, we greatly appreciate that.
Well, thank you so much. I'm honored to be on here. Thank you for taking the time to ask me to be on here. It's great bringing up these old memories.
Now, I did want to ask you. You've been seen in OVW, so let's touch on that.
Did you get to meet Al Snow?
I did. I got to work with Al Snow quite a bit. He's a very busy man, so he's running around, the whole show day. And unfortunately, because I don't live up there, I don't get to have a closer working relationship with anybody and him, the way everybody else gets to. So it's really hard to get any of his time, because when I show up to the show, it's normally at call time, which everybody's running around crazy trying to get ready for the show. So I get very little time to talk to anybody or get to know, or have them get to know me as a person. So, but yeah, I did get to work with him quite a bit, but it was very brief, and he's just a great guy. He knows his stuff, and it was an honor to work with him.
Now, let me ask you, is there somebody that you have wrestled, a legend, somebody that you're like, I can't believe I'm wrestling this person?
I would have to say that would be Jazz. I wrestled her several times, and after, I guess because I met her early on in my career, she was always very nice to me. And me, when I went into the business, it wasn't like this huge wrestling fan. So I didn't really know a whole lot of people when I did come into the business. So I just looked at everybody as equals. I wasn't really starstruck when I met anybody. But after the fact, like years later, when I did my research and kind of got to know everybody, after I wrestled Jazz, I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. That's pretty awesome.
Now, you've wrestled all over the world.
Yeah.
Can you name some of the places you've wrestled?
I had the privilege of working in Mexico, in Canada, Japan, Hawaii, all over the U.S. I still really, really want to wrestle in the UK and hopefully Puerto Rico.
I heard Puerto Rico's rough. Heard. Christian?
Yes.
Got any questions?
I want to talk about the conflict you had with Jasmine at Scott's show last month. Everybody saw you just gave her a good smack.
Well, she was, first of all, she made my daughter bleed. which kind of concerned me. And then when she came over to my table, she kind of disrespected me by calling me an old lady, and I just I just gave it to her. So if one day we have to step into the ring together to resolve this issue, then I'm more than happy.
Well, I very vividly remember the first time I saw you. It was at a GCW wrestling event. It was outside. This young man was 4 years old, and he asked me, "Who's that cute woman?" And he stole my fries on the way there. We had stopped at McDonald's.
We had was it at a fair?
No, it was in a parking lot in Villa Rica, Georgia.
Wow. I can't even remember where that was.
Yeah, you were outside of the ring, being a manager.
Okay.
And he just asked me, "Who's that cute girl?" Or "Who's that cute woman?" So he remembers you for quite some time, and it left an impression on him. He absolutely loves women's wrestling.
I find it more entertaining than the men's wrestling. I'm not saying that men's wrestling is bad. I think it's more fun to watch women wrestle than it is for men.
I think because we're a little more dramatic.
Now, here's a good question for you, Tracy. Or TT. Sorry. Trying to keep it professional here. Here's a good question for you. Who trained you?
Oh gosh, okay, there's a long list. So my very, very first trainer was Nick Dinsmore. PWJ, a lot of people might know him as Eugene. And then my second trainer would have been Bill DeMott, and then Dave Taylor, Jody Hamilton. Let's see, I trained, doing television again with Al Snow. I guess you consider him.
Now,
but mostly, I do need to give credit to Mike, because he did teach me a lot about the business. I mean, the majority of everything that I learned was on the road, just talking with him in the car, on car rides to shows.
Right.
Analyzing the matches and going over what I did and didn't do and did wrong and what I should have did. So a lot of the psychology part was taught by me.
Now, you brought up Bill DeMott. In your opinion, the rumors about him being a bully, are they unfounded?
I think Bill is Bill. I don't look at him as a bully, or I think that's just his personality. I think that's just who he is, and he's just tough on people. Especially if he believes in you, he's going to be a little bit tough. And so, I think if he doesn't like you, that you're going to know it. And at the time, you could really tell, like, if he didn't care for you or if he really believed you.
I wanted to ask something. You grew up watching wrestling, right?
Okay, so I grew up watching Below, and then I did not grow up watching wrestling like WCW or WWF. I did not grow up watching that. I wasn't allowed to in my house. My dad that's not something that we watched. I didn't watch wrestling until I was like, let's say 22, 23, when Micah started watching it, when I was married to Mike.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one that kind of introduced me to it. And he used to watch it every night while I was making dinner. And he kind of forced me to watch it. And it's funny because, like, I was the wife that would complain and be like, oh, God, we have to watch this again. And, and then he'd be like, no, just watch it, it's good. And I'm like, well, what am I watching? What's happening? What's going on? And I just remember Stephanie McMahon being on the microphone, cutting a promo, and I kind of was intrigued by her demeanor, her character, the brattiness, and I was like, well, who is that? Why is she being such a brat? And so then I sat down and kind of watched it, and I kind of liked her because she was funny. And then I asked him, I said, so is this kind of like a soap opera, like in between? And then like all this drama happens, and then they fight it out. And so, yeah, that's what basically it was. And so I agreed to start watching it with him. And then, he would body slam me on the couch or outside. Like, that was his thing. Like, he would pick me up and want to body slam me or pick me up and suplex me on the bed or whatever. But I wasn't like a diehard fan. I didn't know who anybody was. But it was that era where I guess Stephanie got accidentally married to Triple H or something. They looked the drive.
Right.
Okay, that's when I started watching. And then when I started practicing the beginner class, it was really challenging for me to get everything rolling in my brain. So I started doing research and watching Trish Stratus and Victoria, trying to see what their characters were all about, the difference between a babyface and a heel was, So it was a lot to take in, especially if you weren't a fan or you never watched it before. It's a lot to learn, and unless you're like really challenging yourself to make it better, then it's really just jumbled all over. But
right.
I was really challenged, and there was a point where I was terrible. I was in the ring and I was horrible at promos. I was horrible at wrestling. I couldn't get it together. And then one day I just decided, you know what? If I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. So I really took it seriously. I started training, researching, and learning.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Little known fact about you is you used to do, I don't know if you still do it or not, mocap for video games.
Yes. I did motion capture for 10 years. And I was pretty much, in that 10-year period, I was pretty much every woman that was on television at the time. So if there was a woman character, it was probably doing all the boobs for everything. There was once in a while we would bring one girl in. She would help me do some things, but for the most part, I was the consistent girl thing.
Now, do you know what games you were in?
From 2016, hold on, 2006 to 2016. Because
this young man is a video game nut. He has, well, I've encouraged it, but he has had every WWFE game ever. And my dad encouraged that as well. So, if you were in the game, he's probably played you.
Probably.
At one time or the other. Christian, you got any questions?
Yeah, the last time I saw you, you were injured. How's your foot doing now?
So it's doing better. I'm able to walk now. It's still a little sore and stiff, and I'm doing rehab on it. So I'm hoping to be out of, or in the clear by mid-August, hopefully by the end of August. We'll see how it goes.
When can we expect you to be back in the ring?
I just have to feel it out, because taking that much time off, your cardio goes away, your stamina, there's bring rest to work out. So I just have to see. I have to work out in the ring once I feel better, and once my foot doesn't, my ankle doesn't hurt. We'll see what happens.
So basically, and this is a shoot interview, across the board. When you get injured and you get ready to get back in the ring, you basically have to get in the ring by yourself first to get that cardio back, to let your body remember the bumps and hitting the ropes, things of that nature, correct?
Yeah, it's all about hitting those ropes and seeing how long you can run the ropes for. I try to aim for 3 minutes on the ropes, and then you got to add your drop downs in there and see if you can get down and get up, get down and get up, get down and get up. Because a lot of my move sets, I have to jump, get down, get up, get down, get up, get down, get up. So I just want to see if I can smoothly move through that kind of a routine before I even decide if I can do it.
Understandable. And do you get somebody in the ring with you after you feel good?
I do, and I have somebody that's going to work with me, so I'm really grateful for that, because I trust this person, and I trust them to take care of me.
Right. Now, I hit the ropes one time, and my ribs hurt for a week. Now, I've heard people have broke ribs if they don't hit them properly. Is that any truth to that?
You can get hurt doing anything in wrestling. I mean, if you're not doing it correctly, you're going to get hurt. And because we've been, us as professionals have been doing it for so long, we make it look easy. Like we do. We make it look so easy, and people are like, "Oh, I can do that," and they get in there and they try to do something, and it's like, "Oh, wow, I didn't know that the ropes felt like that. I didn't know that the canvas was that hard. I didn't know that, especially if they're going to do a flip bump or something like that, like, your bodies are not going to just naturally let you do it. They're not going to it's not going to naturally let you take a regular bump. So it's a lot harder than it looks, definitely.
So it's kind of like if you were to fall, your body naturally tenses. And you have to train your body to relax when it falls.
Yeah.
Kind of like if a baby falls. Let's say a baby falls off a chair. Sometimes it is better to let them fall than to try to grab them, because it could injure them as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, I would always try to catch a baby falling, but
well,
but yeah, I understand what you're saying. It's just, you don't want to break my heart.
All it takes is one time.
What the world is that?
Cashing in on one time when the stakes are the highest. Let's go, baby!
Is that you?
No.
Is that you, Tracy?
You make is the right move.
That was a commercial. I didn't see anything.
Not on my end.
It's not on mine.
I didn't see anything on mine.
Okay, let's talk women wrestling. Now,
well, before you do that, I did want to ask.
Sure, go ahead.
What is the most hardcore match you've ever been in?
I haven't done a lot of those. The most hardcore match that I've ever been in have to have been at OVW. when I was teaming up with Freya, and we had to do like a street. If you can find that one, that's probably the most hardcore one. We use kendo sticks and trash cans and any other weapons that we could find. But yeah, there is an OVW match recently. I was teaming up.
Now, just curious, have you ever gotten busted open?
I've gotten busted open like in my mouth. It's easy to get a busted lip. It never like tsunami did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was some shock value to that.
Right.
I know it's late, but I wanted to touch on women of wrestling. Now, Dan Masters used to be the announcer, did he not?
Mm-hmm.
And he was a friend of mine. I'm sure he was a friend of yours as well. He is missed. Now, who do you, is AJ Lee involved with women of wrestling? Or was she?
I'm not sure if she was. I want to say yes. Not while I was there. So I'm not sure when or where, or if she's coming back or not. So I don't know.
Okay, I was thinking she was involved with that, one aspect or the other.
Not that I'm.
How is women of wrestling? We don't get it here. That's why I'm asking.
Oh well, you can catch it on YouTube after it airs. They have a whole channel where you can see all the matches on. And also, I don't know if you have Vice TV or they play it on Tuesday on Vice. I love it. It's I think I found my home, and when I'm there, I just take it all in. I'm just the happiest that I can be when it comes to wrestling.
Now it's filmed in California, is it not?
It is.
Oh, the travel's got to be brutal.
It's not bad. I mean, I travel a lot as it is, so.
Well, of course. I mean, being all over the place like you are, I mean, you're used to it.
Yeah, it's not really a big deal. It's a 4-hour flight, so it's not bad.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years, professionally?
Well, probably retired. Yeah, probably. And being hopeful. I do really want to see myself in some sort of training position. I would love to give back to the girls coming up in the business. I would love to be a trainer or an agent somewhere where I could help give my knowledge to these girls, teach them, and just help them succeed.
WWE, AEW, give this woman a job. She's got a lot of knowledge. You did a lot of work for Deep South, correct? Okay. How is Jody Hamilton as a person?
I love Jody. He's a great guy. He was just really down to earth. I mean, he was just the big Papa Bear, And every time I saw him, he was just very welcoming and very nice and very professional.
Now, were you in the same class as Brian Myers or Matt Cardona?
Yes. We were all together all the time.
Oh, okay.
We did have 2 separate classes, but at the same night, every Friday after our shows, we'd all have to come together and do TV review.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to ask one last question because we just hit the 30-minute mark. I'm sure I don't know if you know who Shotzi is. You've heard of Shotzi? She recently went to what is it, GCW? Or
Game Changer Wrestling, I believe it is.
Okay.
if you were to return, would you like to face her in a match?
Oh, absolutely. I would love to face her. And I don't think, I don't know who's going to watch this, but if she happens to watch this, I would love to let her know that I was there the day that she got signed. I was at one of the camps where she was at with William Regal, and they chose 2 people to give contracts to, and she was one of them. I was actually there and I saw it happen.
Speaking of William Regal, okay, you hit on one of the most clear-cut, technical wrestlers I have ever seen, and I've seen a lot of them. I mean, I got a lot of videos, a lot.
It's like a library.
And it's great because the closest that I ever, I have had conversations with Regal and had the privilege of having him come to Deep South and sharing his knowledge with us. When people like that come to the arena, you just pay attention. That's all. You pay attention, you take it all in, and you learn as much as you can. But the closest that I ever got to train that style of wrestling was with Dave Taylor. Dave Taylor was
another one.
He was my mentor. He's where I got all of my movesets from. I don't know if you've noticed, like my movesets aren't really things that you normally see with everybody else. I have really different moves. It's not something that like everybody else does. I try to make things my own, and he was the one behind it. He was the one that came up with being different.
Well, from what I've seen you wrestle, it's been years. But from what I've seen you wrestle, it's not, as Dusty Rhodes would say, flipping moves. It's more of center of the ring, hold, or not slugging it out. There's a method to your madness. I would put it right there with Ted Allen's moveset. He would stay in the middle of the ring and let the other guy gas himself out. You're of that old school training where you want to do your stuff in the ring, not necessarily out of the ring. Now, I'm sure you will go out of the ring if it's warranted, right?
I will, yeah.
But I've seen your style. I believe you wrestled Melissa Coates at one time for Scott. And I think it fell out of the ring a little bit, but mostly you discussed the match beforehand and how y'all want to do it, right?
Well, I mean, not necessarily.
Or do you just sometimes call it in the ring?
I call it in the ring a lot. Because that's just the way I was taught. I was taught to call it in the ring. Just react. React off of what the heel is feeding you. As long as you know counters, you don't really have to plan anything.
Now, when it comes to gimmick matches, your hardcore matches, if you're going up against somebody, this is a two-parter. Okay. Do you have that conversation beforehand of what you want to do, what you don't want to do, things of that nature?
So, like I said, we had that hardcore match at OVW, and it was kind of funny because we didn't necessarily know what we were doing. All we didn't even know the weapons that would be out there. Right before we went out, there was a trash can with some weapons in it. They said, well, here you go, that's yours, take it out. And we looked at it and we were like, we take this out? Like what? And so that's what we took out with us. We didn't even know what was inside of it. So they had their own, our opponents had their own set of weapons. So we didn't know what was coming in. And they didn't know what was coming in. So no, we didn't necessarily get to talk about.
Well, you are also trained to hit safe.
Right.
And that's a huge thing, because some people are not safe. I've witnessed firsthand somebody headshotting somebody. I was at a match, and they didn't hit with the flat of the chair. They hit with the lip of the chair, and it's split a wrestler open. And it was very horrifying because it wasn't in the ring, it was outside the ring.
And sometimes it's good when that happens, because a lot of people think that this business, what we do, is fake. And if you really hit somebody with a chair, that's what's going to happen. You know what I mean? And not everybody understands that there are safe ways to do it. But everybody wants to think that what we do is just all fake, and you can hit somebody with a chair, it doesn't matter, and it's just going to be fake. But it's not true. Because even though we do things in a safe manner, it's still not fake. I mean, I'm still hitting you with something. I'm still hitting you with a weapon. You're still really feeling the impact. It does hurt, but our pain tolerance is at the level where most people's pain tolerance can't handle it. So for people to say that what we do is fake is insulting, and that's why every worker or wrestler gets upset, because it's disrespectful, because we really work on our craft to entertain people and do it safely.
Well, more importantly, people look at stuntmen or actors, and that's incorrect. You're also athletes and
professionals.
Right, and you know, I've done stunt work as well, and the difference between a stunt person and a wrestler is a stunt person will pad up. We put pads on all over our body so that when we do fall downstairs or we do take a bump on the floor, that we don't get hurt. But as a wrestler, I don't get pads. You know, I have to fall down. I have to fall down on the floor outside of the ring. I have to hit the pole correctly. You know, so it's a lot of it. That's the difference between a stunt worker.
Now, let me ask you real quick before we let you go. You said you've done some stunt work. Possibly any movies?
No, we did a stunt camp one time, and we got to experience different types of stunts, like falling off a 2-story building. We got hit by a car. We fell down some stairs. We got shot out of a cannon. You know, stuff like that.
I bet shot out of the cannon was cool.
It was really fun. We also got pulled back, and then there was one stunt where I got lifted and hoisted up in the air, like as if I was Peter Pan. You know, like I was all the way up. Michael was actually hoisted down, making sure I was.
I bet that was exhilarating. In all honesty,
it was really fun.
It got your adrenaline going.
It did. And it's not easy either, because there's certain things that you have to be really careful of doing stuff work, because the one where you get shot up, you have to be really careful with your knees, because they can buckle if your timing's not right. And it happened to me. My knee buckled, and it was really painful. But if your timing's off, you're gonna get hurt.
Now, very quickly before we let you go, where can people see you at? Are you going to be at any shows here recently, or?
Well, I am going to be at UCW on August 16th, I believe, in Griffin at the old Taylor Street Gym.
15th.
The 15th? Okay, so it's August 15th, Taylor Street Gym in Griffin. I'm going to be there. Not sure if I'm going to be wrestling or not yet. We're going to just play it by ear and see how I feel. But I will be there.
Okay.
DragonCon's coming up.
I know Tsunami told me about that. That is awesome.
Yeah.
That y'all going to be there.
Yeah.
Are you? What's the organization that's putting on the wrestling event?
I don't think there is a name for it. I think it's just the same crew that goes every year for DragonCon. So it's just a DragonCon wrestling event.
Okay.
It's not necessarily a name. It's kind of the same crew every year.
Okay, I understand. Okay. Tracy, I want to thank you for coming on the show. You're always welcome. You've been nothing but polite. I see where Tsunami, one got her beauty, two got her good manners. So
thank you for having me.
You're always welcome on here.
We appreciate it so much for you being here. And I hope to get to see you August 15th.
If you're there, come see me. I'll have the tiki hut set up again.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Tracy Taylor, I want to thank you for coming on. We greatly appreciate it.